First and foremost, I want to get a praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH by Hashem YAHAWASHI. All right, peace to the body of YAHAWASHI, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. The name of this lesson is Revelation 20:4 and capital punishment. All right, and pretty much only got one precept that's going to center around this lesson. It's going to be based on Revelation, the 20th chapter, verse 4. All right, and I was what led me to here as I was inspired. I was reading the study Bible and I saw in Philippians, the 2nd chapter, it had an image of how like the bones look when during the crucifixion or whatnot, and it made me want to look into the history of crucifixion. When did it start? Where did it begin? Just the history of it. And I ended up, which I'm still probably, Lord willing, gonna do a lesson going into that. But I ended up coming into the guillotine, and I ended up thinking about Revelation 20:4, and this has just been holding my attention all day, so I'm finally able to get to it. And I'm just gonna go into a couple things that I got written out, and I got some articles printed out, and Lord willing to be edifying to the elect, right? Because we're coming into the times where the prophecies, everything is speaking, like the Lord said that though it seemed like it may tarry, but in the end it shall speak. And one of the things that are prophesied is the martyrs of YAHAWASHI, those that stood stiffly for the name, for the testimony, right? All right, so where I'm gonna start, let's see. All right, let's start at let's get the definition of capital punishment. All right, so capital punishment is legally authorized killing of someone as punishment for a crime. All right, so one of the key words that I want to highlight is legally authorized. And we know that Esau, the way that part of his methods is he puts things on paper. He puts them in law first, right? He writes them out first. Let me just get a couple precepts. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 10. Verse 1, it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." All right, and you got prescribed, written before. All right, and this is what Esau does. He writes these unrighteous decrees beforehand, and then he enforces them and says, he uses his part of his sword, which is his military, his policemen, all right, his propaganda, and they just go back and say, hey, it's the law, hey, it's the rules. Hey, I'm just doing my job. I'm just enforcing the law, right? And then let me get Psalms 94. Psalms 94, verse 20. Okay. Psalms 94, verse 20, it says, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law?" And that's what he does. He frames mischief by these unrighteous laws, and then had a nerve to put his hand on the Bible and swear, All right, so that word frameth is Yaltazar, which means to form, to fashion of creation. Okay, and that word mischief, I want to get that, mischief, which is Imal, which means trouble, toil, trouble, misery, mischief, sorrow, grievousness, perverseness. And he does this all by way of the pen. All right, this is what he does. And you see Joe Biden done placed his signature on all kind of executive orders. He only, not even 90 days in yet, and got all kind of shit signed into law. So let's keep going. All right, so capital punishment, legally authorized killing of someone as punishment for a crime. All right, so when you go into the words and you break them down based on the etymology, you got capital, which is from the Latin capitalis, from caput, which means head. Okay, then you got punish, which means to inflict a penalty, cause pain for offense. So what capital punishment means is death by beheading. All right, so All right, when you go to Revelation, the 20th chapter, verse 4, it says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them." All right, and this is going into, the elect men, the 144,000. All right, because you get the precept, Matthew 19 and 28. The Lord told, I think it was Peter. Peter asked, we forsaken everything to follow you. What will we get? And he told him that in the regeneration they should sit upon thrones, judging the tribes of Israel, but not only judging Israel, but judging the whole earth. All right, and also in Luke the 22nd chapter, verse 30 is a precept on that too. He said, "Ye did have in what do you say? Luke 22 and 30, that ye may eat and drink at my table." Salaki started 29, "And I appoint unto you a kingdom." Salaki, let me start at 28. Forgive me. Luke 22:28, "Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father have appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel." All right, so Revelation 20:4, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them." All right, 1 Corinthians the 6th chapter goes into, do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? All right, "And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of YAHAWASHI and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands." And I'm going to stop there. I don't want to harp in on beheaded. Like he said, I saw thrones. So like I'm reading it from the book, but this is what it looked like. "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded." So we just got how capital punishment means death by beheading. All right, so let's get this article real quick. All right, beheading is a mode of executing, and this is from Britannica, which is a pretty good source I like to use. All right, beheading, a mode of executing capital punishment by which the head is severed from the body. So this is where Apostle John, right, 2,000 years ago in the Isle of Patmos, at his old age, all right, he saw this. This is a vision that he saw. All right, he saw into the future. He saw what is now. All right, we're in that time. All right, beheading, a mode of executing capital punishment by which the head is severed from the body. And check this out. It says the ancient Greeks and Romans regarded it as a most honorable form of death. All right, the key word there, or the key words is the ancient Greeks and Romans. All right, and we're under these same people, these Greeks, these Romans, all right, which are the Edomites. All right, 2nd Ezra 6, "For Esau is the end of the world." Regarded it as the most honorable form of death. All right, before execution, the criminal was tied to a stake and whipped with rods. In early times, it was an axe, but later a sword. Okay, a sword. And we're in the captivity of the one whose blessing is the sword. It says, which was considered a more honorable instrument of death, was used for. Salakia. But later a sword, which was considered a more honorable instrument of death, was used for Roman citizens. All right, and we're in Rome all over again. All right, let's see if there's anything else. All right, so something else I want to bring out. It says you had this guy who's a trader in England who was he was one of the last people beheaded by an axe in England, because they said that beheading was usually by an axe. Well, let me read that real quick. It says beheading usually by an axe was the customary method for executing traitors in England. All right, and scroll down. In 1820, the Cato Street conspirators became the last persons to be beheaded by an axe in England. Having plotted to murder members of the government, they were found guilty of high treason and hanged, and their corpses were then decapitated. And when I researched capital punishment in the United States, some of the reasons I found was, I think it said something about terrorism. Let me see, just to validate that. Because right here, it said that think it said treason. What is that? They were found guilty of high treason, right? And hanged, and their corpses were then decapitated. So treason, I think that's one of them here in the United States. Yeah, so according to Wikipedia, capital punishment is a legal penalty under the United States federal government criminal justice system. It can be imposed for treason. Okay, treason, all right? Because technically what the prophets of YAHAWASHI are doing is considered treason. All right? You basically prophesying and speaking against the authority that's in place. All right? You basically committing treason. All right, look that up. Espionage, murder, large-scale drug trafficking, or attempted murder of a witness. And but on the flip side, this is what they're going to be committed to this. Right, because they're trying to commit murder of us being the witnesses, right? When you go back to, what's that? Was it, they would be headed? Yeah, Revelation 20:4. What does it say right here? It says that, and I saw the souls of them that would be headed for the witness of YAHAWASHI. So basically, Apostle John saw the elect, members of the elect being murdered, okay, for being witnesses. So Esau's gonna be found guilty of this, man, and this is according to his own law. So capital punishment can be imposed for treason, espionage, murder. Let's look up espionage. I don't even know what that is. Find espionage. Espionage is the practice of spying, okay? So it's basically spying, surveillance, murder, large-scale drug trafficking, or attempted murder of a witness, juror, or court. So basically, well, hold on. Yeah, so, yeah, treason. So that's the main point. And so, like, yeah, man, I know I'm all over the place. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. High treason. So treason is a reason for capital punishment, and they have this on the books right now as we speak. So, hey, and we are in Babylon the Great, which, you know, the book of Revelation revolve heavily around prophecies on Babylon the Great. So I made a couple notes here. You got 28 states that have capital punishment, you know, that's legal right now. So 28 states, I think it's either 48 or 50 states right now. So 28 states, that's more than half. All right, and legal injection is the primary way, but they also have, you know, other methods. But look for, according to prophecy, look for the guillotine to come back around. All right, the guillotine, let's get into that. Guillotine, it's a note I wrote from French guillotine, named after French physician Joseph Guillotine. I know I'm not saying it in the French accent, but he proposed that capital punishment be done by beheading quickly and clearly on the machine. So let's go to history.com. These are 8 things you may not know about the guillotine. Its origins date back to the Middle Ages. The name guillotine dates to the 1790s and the French Revolution, but similar execution machines have already been in existence for centuries. A beheading device called the plank was used in Germany and Flanders during the Middle Ages, and the English had a sliding axe known as the Halifax gibbet, which may have been looping off heads all the way back to antiquity. It was originally developed as a more humane method of execution. We got that point. All right, goes back to Joseph Guillotine. All right, he argued that decapitation by a lightning-quick machine would be more humane and egalitarian than sword and axe beheadings, which were often botched. Yeah, because you'll get hit. They'll hit you one time with the axe and you don't die. Next thing you know, it's inhumane. It's you know what I'm saying? You getting chopped and shit. Niggas missing your whole neck, then hit you in the back with it, you know. Guillotine executions were major spectator events, just like hanging. That which is then is now. So just like how hangings, you know, when they would hang a nigga up, that would bring out the crowds. Guillotine executions were major spectator events. Some members, check this out, some members of the public initially complained that the machine was too quick and clinical, but before long the process had evolved into high entertainment. You say spectators were buying souvenirs, you know, it was a popular children's toy. Guillotine operators were national celebrities. All right, and this is dealing with Esau, man. These are the Edomites. All right, these are those same people, because this is really talking about France, which is where the guillotine kind of made its became widely known as the guillotine in France. And France is one of the 10 horns. All right, one of the 7 heads. I could be saying that vice versa, but that's just part of the beast. So this is this is Esau right here. Okay, executioners won a great deal of notoriety during the French Revolution when they were closely judged on how quickly and precisely they can orchestrate multiple beheadings. The job was often a family business. And check this out. Scientists conducted gruesome studies on the heads of the condemned. All right, I'm just gonna get a couple things here. From the very beginning of its use, speculation abounded over whether the heads of the guillotine remained conscious after being cut off. The debate reached new heights in 1793 when an assistant executioner slapped the face of one of his victims' heads, and spectators claimed to see its cheeks flush in anger. Man, that's crazy, man. These devils are sick. It was used for executions in Nazi Germany. Okay, and it was last used in the 1970s, which wasn't that far. All right, some of y'all, watching these videos were born in the 70s. Shit, that's only 50 years ago. So, let's see, I think I made the point. Let's just check the notes, see if there's anything here. Revelation 20:4, the thrones represent the administration of the Messianic kingdom, and what you have people in the land of Israel now claiming to be the Israelites, pretty much. They calling themselves Jews, right? Well, y'all are basically saying that y'all in the administration of the Messianic kingdom, which that's not true. The Messiah is not in rulership right now, So we know that we're not in the Messianic kingdom. So it's a bunch of precepts listing going into the reign of 1,000 years. So yeah, man, so that's the point pretty much. Just be on the lookout for the guillotine to come back around, and because the United States pretty much is in a national emergency, so laws are different, under the state of emergency. So, that's why Revelation 13 and the 15, matter of fact, let's go there real quick. It's going to get very draconian out here. All right, Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. All right, 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, because, this beast is saying things such as, we're doing things for the safety of others. Like you had that devil Kamala Harris talk about, this is literally about saving lives. This is all about saving lives. Those are speaking as a lamb, all right, or appearing as a lamb, but speaking as a dragon, because what they're doing is they're taking away more and more liberties. All right, they're infringing more upon your rights. All right, and they're gonna really start clamping down, more and more as we move forward. Now, jumping forward to the 15th verse, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that lines back up to Revelation 20:4. All right, because you had those martyrs which would not worship the image of the beast, and they were eventually killed. Okay? And some of them are going to be beheaded. All right, so this is where we at. This is where we're going. All right, Lord willing, that was edifying to the point. I know I kind of drug it out after I made the point, but sometimes it be like that, man. Lord willing, it was edifying. All praise to YAHAWASHI. Shalom.